What if the one thing you created to heal yourself ended up exposing your deepest secret to the world? What if the man you admired from afar suddenly became the only one who truly saw you? And what if standing up for love meant risking everything you had built in life? In the heart of San Francisco, where the fog rolled in from the bay like a blanket of secrets, Cody Thompson sat in his small apartment overlooking the Golden Gate Bridge. At 28, he was already a rising star in the game development world, known for his innovative RPGs that blended fantasy with raw human emotions. His latest project, Shadows of the Heart, was nearly ready for launch. But this time, he had poured more than code into it. He had added a character named Alex, a brooding warrior who quietly fell for his male companion in a storyline that mirrored Cody's own hidden life. Cody had always been careful. Growing up in a conservative family back in Texas, he learned early to keep his feelings locked away. Moving to California for college had opened doors, but not enough to come out fully. He had friends, a steady job at Pixel Forge Studios, and a growing reputation. Yet no one knew the truth. Except, perhaps, Garrett Hayes. Garrett was his college buddy, now a freelance graphic designer working downtown. Tall with dark wavy hair and a warm smile that always made Cody's chest tighten, Garrett was openly gay and unapologetic about it. They had hung out for years, sharing late-night coding sessions, cheap tacos, and deep talks about life that never quite crossed into anything more. Cody never dared to cross that line, terrified it would ruin their friendship. That morning, as he finalized the code for Alex's romance arc, Cody felt a rush of fear mixed with excitement. The team had debated the inclusion of the gay storyline for weeks. It adds depth, Cody had argued in the last meeting, his voice steadier than he felt. His boss, a no-nonsense woman named Lena, had shrugged and said, "If it boosts engagement, go for it." But Cody knew it was more than business. Alex was him, fighting the same internal battles. He hit save and leaned back, heart pounding. In 2 weeks, the game would launch on every major platform. Cody grabbed his jacket and headed out to meet Garrett at their usual cafe near the waterfront. The air smelled of salt and coffee as he walked in. Garrett was already there, scrolling through his phone, his green eyes lighting up when he saw Cody. "Hey, man, you look like you just solved world hunger or something," Garrett teased, sliding a black coffee across the table. "Spill. What's got you grinning?" Cody hesitated, then laughed softly. "Just the game. I added something big this time. A character who, well, he's not straight." He watched Garrett's reaction carefully. Garrett raised an eyebrow, intrigued. "Bold move. You think the players will eat it up?" "They might," Cody said, his voice dropping. "Or they might hate it. But I needed to do it. Felt right." They talked for hours that afternoon, the conversation flowing easily like it always did. Garrett shared stories from his latest design gig, and Cody listened, stealing glances at the way the sunlight caught in Garrett's hair. By the time they parted, Cody felt lighter than he had in months. He walked home replaying the day, wondering if maybe, just maybe, this game could be the bridge he never knew he needed. The next 2 weeks blurred into a frenzy of final testing and marketing pushes. Cody barely slept, tweaking dialogue, adjusting animations, making sure Alex's story felt authentic without being forced. His colleagues noticed the extra effort. "You're really invested in this one of them joked during a crunch session. Cody just smiled and kept working. Launch day arrived on a crisp October morning. Cody refreshed the download charts every few minutes from his desk at the studio. By noon, Shadows of the Heart had climbed into the top 10. By evening, it hit #1 on the App Store and Steam. Social media exploded with praise for the fresh take on representation. Clips of Alex's heartfelt confession scene went viral. Cody stared at the screen, stunned. His phone buzzed nonstop with notifications. That night, he met Garrett at a rooftop bar to celebrate. The city lights sparkled below them like scattered stars. Garrett clapped him on the back, genuine pride in his eyes. "Dude, you did it. Top downloads. This is huge." Cody felt a warmth spread through him that had nothing to do with the drinks. "Couldn't have without your feedback on the art," he said, meaning every word. Their eyes met a second too long, and for the first time Cody didn't look away. But as the downloads kept climbing past 1 million, the first cracks appeared. A few negative reviews popped up online, calling the gay arc unnecessary. Cody brushed them off. He had faced worse in his career. Little did he know those cracks were about to split his entire world wide open. The following morning, Cody woke to hundreds of new messages. Positive ones mostly, but a handful of angry emails from parents demanding the game be pulled. He laughed it off at first, pouring cereal into a bowl while his laptop pinged with more alerts. Shadows of the Heart had crossed 2 million downloads overnight. Pixel Forge stock jumped. Lena texted him a simple, "Well done, kid." Cody headed into the office feeling invincible. The team greeted him with high fives and a cake shaped like a pixel heart. "Our gay warriors saved the quarter," someone shouted. Laughter filled the room. Cody posed for photos, smiling wide, but inside a small voice whispered caution. He pushed it down. Garrett called during lunch. "Saw the charts. You're trending, man. Proud of you." His voice carried that easy warmth that always steadied Cody. They made plans to grab dinner later. Cody hung up feeling lighter than air. By afternoon, mainstream media picked up the story. A tech blog headline read, "Indie game dev makes history with gay lead romance." Interviews requests flooded in. Cody did a quick phone one with a reporter, keeping answers light. "I wanted players to feel seen," he said. The quote went live within hours. That evening, dinner with Garrett turned into something more than celebration. They sat at a small Italian place in the Mission District, candles flickering between them. Garrett ordered wine and raised his glass. "To Alex and the guy who gave him life." Cody clinked glasses, cheeks warm. Conversation drifted from the game to memories of college, late nights studying, and the time Garrett had dragged him to his first Pride parade. "You were so nervous," Garrett recalled, laughing. "But you stayed the whole day." Cody nodded, heart racing. "Yeah. Felt like I belonged for once." He wanted to say more, to admit how Garrett had been the reason he stayed that day, but the words stuck. Instead, he asked about Garrett's latest project, Steering Safe. They walked home along the Embarcadero, the bay breeze cool against their faces. At Cody's door, Garrett paused. "You know, if you ever want to talk about anything, I'm here." His eyes held steady, offering more than friendship. Cody felt the pull, strong and terrifying. "Thanks," he managed. "Means a lot." Inside, alone, Cody opened his laptop. The download count had hit 3 million. Comments poured in. "Alex's story helped me come out to my roommate." Finally, a game that gets it. But mixed among them were harsher ones. "This is why games are going downhill." Cody closed the tab, telling himself it didn't matter. The next day brought the first real storm. His mother called from Texas. "Cody, honey, what's this game everyone's talking about? Your cousin sent me a link. There's a boy kissing another boy. Is that you?" Her voice trembled. Cody froze, the phone suddenly heavy. He lied, saying it was just fiction. She sounded unconvinced. Work buzzed with more good news. A major streamer featured the game, pushing downloads even higher. But Cody's inbox now held messages from distant relatives asking questions he wasn't ready to answer. That night, he met Garrett again, needing the distraction. They walked through Golden Gate Park, leaves crunching underfoot. Garrett sensed something was off. "You okay? You seem miles away." Cody shrugged. "Family stuff." They saw the headlines. Garrett stopped under a street lamp. "You don't owe them an explanation unless you want to give one." His hand brushed Cody's arm, brief but electric. Cody wanted to lean into it, to confess everything, but fear held him back. Instead, he changed the subject, talking about new game ideas. They parted with a hug that lingered a second longer than usual. Back home, Cody scrolled through reviews again. 4 million downloads. The game was everywhere. But so was his name. And the questions were only beginning. By the end of the week, Shadows of the Heart had shattered records, sitting comfortably at #1 across every platform. Cody's face appeared in gaming magazines and tech podcasts. Pixel Forge threw an office party complete with champagne and a giant screen showing real-time download stats. Colleagues slapped his back, calling him a genius. Cody smiled through it all, but the weight in his chest grew heavier each day. His phone rang constantly now. His father left a voicemail. "Son, we need to talk about this game. Call me." Cody deleted it without listening twice. Then came the email from his younger brother. "Dude, kids at school are asking if my brother is gay. What do I say?" Cody stared at the screen until it blurred. Garrett noticed the shift during their usual Thursday coffee run. "You're quieter than normal. Talk to me." They sat on a bench overlooking the bay, seagulls circling overhead. Cody finally opened up about the family calls. They think I'm pushing some agenda. Mom cried. Dad's disappointed. I wanted the character to feel real. Garrett listened without interrupting, his expression soft. You did something brave. Not everyone gets that. He reached over and squeezed Cody's shoulder. And if they can't handle it, that's on them, not you. The touch sent warmth through Cody, but guilt followed. He still hadn't told Garrett the full truth, that Alex wasn't just a character. He was Cody's confession in code. That night, alone, Cody drafted a long message to Garrett but deleted it before sending. The media storm intensified. A conservative news outlet ran a segment questioning whether the game was appropriate for kids. Comment sections filled with venom. Cody's boss pulled him into a meeting. Ignore the noise. Numbers don't lie. Keep doing what you're doing. But Cody saw the worry in her eyes. That weekend, Garrett invited him to a small gathering at his apartment. A handful of friends, music, laughter. Cody arrived tense but relaxed as the night wore on. Garrett introduced him as the guy who just broke the internet with his game. Everyone cheered. Later, on the balcony, Garrett handed him a beer. You know, I've been thinking about that character Alex. He reminds me of someone I know. His gaze held Cody's a beat too long. Cody's pulse quickened. Yeah. Garrett nodded. Someone who's kind, talented, and scared to let people see the real him. The air between them thickened. Cody wanted to close the distance, to finally say what he had buried for years. But his phone vibrated, another missed call from Texas. He stepped back. I should head home. Garrett didn't push. Whenever you're ready. The drive home felt endless. 5 million downloads. The achievement should have felt like victory, but all Cody could hear was his mother's disappointed voice echoing in his head. He lay awake until dawn, wondering how long he could keep running from the truth. The confrontation came sooner than expected. Cody's parents booked a surprise flight to San Francisco. They showed up at his apartment on a rainy Tuesday, suitcases in hand and faces set in determination. We needed to see you in person, his mother said, hugging him tightly. His father stood stiff, arms crossed. Over coffee at the kitchen table, the questions poured out. Is this about you, Cody? Are you like that character? His father's voice cracked on the word. Cody felt the room close in. He had rehearsed this moment 1,000 times, but the words still stuck. Yes, he said quietly. I'm gay. Silence crashed down. His mother's eyes filled with tears. His father stared at the floor. We raised you better, he muttered. This game, this lifestyle, it's not who you are. They argued for hours. Cody tried explaining the years of hiding, the loneliness, the way Alex had been his first step toward honesty. His parents listened but didn't hear. By evening they left for a hotel, promising to talk more the next day. Cody called Garrett in a panic. They're here. They know. Garrett arrived within 20 minutes, rain still dripping from his jacket. He didn't offer empty comfort. He simply sat beside Cody on the couch and listened as the whole story spilled out. The fear, the game, the family rejection. When Cody finished, Garrett took his hand. You're not alone in this. Not anymore. That simple touch broke something open inside Cody. He leaned in, and for the first time their lips met in a kiss that felt both terrifying and inevitable. Garrett pulled back gently. I've waited a long time for that. The next morning brought more pain. His parents returned, this time with ultimatums. Come home. Leave that job. We'll help you figure this out. Cody refused. His father shook his head. Then we don't know what else to say. They left without hugs. Cody stood at the window watching their taxi disappear, chest hollow. Garrett stayed through the weekend, cooking meals, distracting him with silly design sketches, and reminding him that love wasn't supposed to feel like punishment. Their relationship bloomed quietly, stolen kisses, late-night talks, the comfort of finally being seen. But the misunderstanding lingered. Cody worried Garrett only pitted him. Garrett sensed the distance and pulled back slightly, waiting for Cody to bridge it. Meanwhile, the game kept climbing. 6 million downloads. But the family's silence weighed heavier than any backlash. The betrayal hit like a blindside. One of Cody's colleagues, a senior programmer named Marcus, leaked private emails to a gossip site. The messages showed Cody defending the gay storyline against team pushback, admitting in one thread that the character was personal. The article exploded online. Game dev admits he's living through his creation. Downloads spiked again from curiosity, but the studio faced sponsor pullouts. Lena called Cody into her office. "We're behind you, but the board wants damage control." Cody felt exposed, raw. His phone flooded with messages, some supportive, many cruel. His brother texted, "Dad's furious. Maybe lay low." Garrett found him that night staring at the ceiling. "They had no right," Garrett said, anger flashing. But Cody pulled away. "Maybe they're right. Maybe I went too far." Doubt crept in, whispering that his happiness with Garrett had cost too much. He pushed Garrett gently. "I need space to figure this out." Garrett's face fell, hurt clear in his eyes. "If that's what you want." He left without argument. Cody regretted the words instantly, but couldn't chase him. The sacrifice felt necessary, protecting Garrett from the fallout. The low point came 3 days later. Cody sat in his apartment, surrounded by empty takeout containers, watching the download count plateau for the first time. 7 million, then stalled. A rival studio announced a competing game without controversial elements. Cody's inbox held a formal warning from HR. He considered quitting, moving back to Texas, erasing everything. A single text from Garrett arrived late that night. "I'm still here when you're ready to stop running." Cody stared at it until the screen dimmed. The betrayal, the family silence, the career pressure, all of it crashed down. He cried for the first time in years, alone in the dark, finally understanding that hiding had never protected anyone. It had only isolated him. Dawn brought clarity. Cody woke with a new resolve. He drafted a public statement, posted it on his studio profile and social media. Shadows of the Heart was never just a game. It was my truth. I'm gay, I'm proud, and I won't apologize for characters who reflect real lives. Thank you to everyone who saw themselves in Alex. The response was immediate and overwhelming. Supportive messages flooded in. Downloads surged past 8 million. Major outlets praised his courage. Lena called personally. The board changed their minds. "You're staying." Cody drove straight to Garrett's apartment. Garrett opened the door, eyes wary. "I was wrong to push you away," Cody said, voice steady. "I was scared, but I'm done hiding. I love you, Garrett. Not because you're convenient, but because you've always seen me." Garrett pulled him inside without a word. Their embrace turned into something deeper, honest, and healing. They spent the day talking through everything, the misunderstandings, the fear, the future. Garrett admitted he had fallen for Cody years ago, but waited for the right moment. "This was it," he said, smiling. Over the following weeks, small miracles happened. Cody's mother called first. "We watched your statement. It's going to take time, but we love you." His father followed with a gruff, "Proud of your success, son." Not full acceptance, but a crack in the wall. The game crossed 10 million downloads and kept climbing. Cody and Garrett attended their first public event together, a charity gaming night, holding hands openly. The city lights felt brighter. Cody had lost some illusions about easy acceptance, but he had gained something stronger, a life built on truth. Alex, the character who started it all, became a symbol for players worldwide. Fan art poured in, stories of courage shared. Cody realized the highest download count wasn't the real victory. The real win was standing beside Garrett, unafraid, ready for whatever came next. In reflecting on this tale, I see how courage in revealing one's truth can ripple far beyond ourselves. The real lesson isn't about winning every battle, but finding the strength to live authentically amid the storms. Love, in all its forms, teaches us that vulnerability is not weakness. It's the bridge to deeper connections and unexpected triumphs. Sometimes the game we build ends up building us instead.